Pizza School NYC interview with Mark and Jenny Bello, located in New York City and the Pizza Retreat.
Hi everybody, Albert Grande here with pizzatherapy.com, and I'm talking to my good friends, Mark Bello and Jenny Bello, owners of pizzaschool.com. It's Pizza School NYC. I want to get that out there, pizzaschool.com. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Very well.
All right, that's cool. Hey, I want to start off by, can you tell me a little bit? I know you had an anniversary recently. Tell me a little bit about Pizza School and how that got started.
We just turned 13. Yes. April 15th, we opened our doors 2010 on the Lower East Side in Manhattan, and we've been in business 13 years, including 2 some odd years of, I don't know, some weird stuff went down in early 2020. Do you remember?
Yeah. Okay.
Which actually is, so just for context, anyone who's been to Pizza School probably recognizes the murals behind me, the brick paneling, the whole aesthetic, the Mike's Hot Honey neon. But actually today, I am zooming in from the Pizza Retreat, which is a project we've been working on for the last going on 5 years, which is 90 miles north and west of Pizza School NYC on the Lower East Side. So we are on the Shawangum Mountain Range in Ulster County, New York, and we are building a bed and breakfast and a cooking school and a campground. We're going to have pizza skeet shooting, all sorts of fun. But the room that I'm in was the home office of the people that we bought the house from, and we converted it into a TV studio to do our virtual events.
Nice.
So while, the lights were off in New York City, like we were, cranking along doing these virtual classes. And in fact, last night I was standing here, Jenny was upstairs in her office with the giant pizzas behind her. And we were running a corporate event for about 50 households. It was a computer company that had just done all these meetings on screen. And then our event was like their wind down fun time at the end of the day. So
okay,
can I answer your question?
Can I answer the question?
Yeah, please do. Hey, Jenny, do a better job than that.
She keeps me on track.
I'll just get right in there. So Pizza School, the question was, how did it get started?
Yeah.
So, Mark was doing this nomadically for years. He started making pizzas at home many years before opening Pizza School, and he could fill in more details on that. But essentially, it's just like, what I know about Mark is that he started doing this as a hobby and loved it and turned it into a lifestyle. And I met Mark several years after he had kind of gotten into it. He was already teaching around the city and other places. But I was just, this was like such a fun thing he was doing. I could see how special it was. And he was in the process of opening the storefront when we were first dating. And so, so it was just like a thing that organically became obvious that it should be a storefront, that it should be a location, and that it would be a successful business. And we both joined forces and made it happen. And here we are. And
You certainly did. Yeah. And I have to say, as a graduate of the Pizza School, I got my little certificate. One of the most fun afternoons I've spent. In my life. Just so much fun. You take everybody from a blank canvas. They got nothing in front of them. And then you start throwing ingredients together. You got flour, you got salt, and before your eyes, you're making pizza. And then you're making pizza dough, and then you're making pizza. And it was just a lot of fun. And it's a great bonding experience, a great learning experience. A lot of fun. It's more than just pizza. So while we're talking about pizza and romance, I have a little story that I want you to tell me about your wedding. And it's kind of a cool little pizza related story that I want to get out there. So tell me what happened. I know it was, I think was there some hurricane or something going on at the time?
Just a little storm, So, yeah. All right. So spoiler alert, we got married in a pizzeria.
Okay.
But actually that wasn't the intention. We love pizza, but we also love things. But like we're into it, but we're not like that hardcore, like, pizza wedding, pizza.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, deal was the plan we at that point were living in Chinatown in Lower Manhattan, and we were going to do our ceremony on the promenade on the East River on the Manhattan side, with like the beautiful vista of like the Brooklyn Bridge and the
Sure.
Manhattan Bridge and all that behind us. We were going to bring down donuts and coffee and dim sum and have this wedding. Our officiant was to be Scott Wiener. Might have heard of him.
Oh, buddy, come on, Scott's Pizza Tours. Yeah, of course.
So Scott was going to perform the ceremony at 10 in the morning on Sunday, October 28th. And then everybody, we were going to, with our guests, we had a permit to assemble. We were all, on the up and up. We're going to walk to Pier 11 and jump on a ferry and take the ferry from Manhattan to Greenpoint, which is where Pauly G's is.
Yep.
And we had actually, arranged with Pauly to have 65 people come, and we were going to do our reception at Pauly G's. So that was the plan. So anyway, the Saturday before the Sunday we got married, Jenny and I went down to the seaport to buy 65 ferry tickets to get everyone across. And this is when the impending Hurricane Sandy was forecasted to hit New York City on Monday. So all the ticket agents were like, "We're out of here like today," So there would be no boats, no nothing. So then we're like, what are we going to do? And we called Scott, because Scott does like pizza tours where he gets a school bus and all that. So we would have needed a couple school buses, and, we're trying, and that wasn't like feasible. So Scott called Pauly. I believe it was Marianne that actually, he was able to sort of, because, Pauly has his rules. And one is
one of those is,
no ceremonies, right? So
anyway, wow.
Yeah. So they did agree to allow us to do the whole shebang at Pauly G's. Now the thing was that Scott was supposed to marry us at 10 in the morning, and then he had a tour that he had to run, and then he was going to meet up with us later,
right,
for the after party. So now Pauly's like, "Yep, you can come at noon." So anyway, Scott's got a tour. So now what happened is, we get to Pauly G's, all of our friends, got the memo that we had changed venues, and Scott shows up with his little mini school bus of tour that day, and says to everybody, "Go inside, I'll be right there." And then like in the bus like spins around like Superman, and was now in a suit and tie, and he comes in and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to marry these guys." So so yeah. So that was, that's the.
You got married.
Yes, we got married.
It was a really special day.
I bet. And I get, I'm thinking for the reception, you might have had pizza.
So much.
Well,
how many weddings have you been to where you're like, yeah, the food was, yeah, we were
lots.
People were excited.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, that's great. And you're still together after all these years, which is just fantastic. Well, you got it. It's a great pizza story for the archives.
Thank you.
So let me get to some other stuff. Let me talk about one of the videos that you created many, many years ago. And I want to preface this. We talked about it in person. Was an anti-microwave pizza heating. Don't use a microwave ever to reheat pizza. Why would you do that? Why no microwave?
Well, the video was actually like the sort of grand finale was the skillet method of reheating a slice, which is something that's out there. We're not, claiming to have like come up with that idea, but we wanted to present it in a way beyond the just standing in the kitchen with like an iPhone recording, that. So we injected a little Hollywood magic. You
did.
Yeah. And so you actually get to ride with the pizza on the turntable in the microwave.
Unbelievable.
I won't say the rest. And
no, I'm going to try to put in a clip here so people can see what it looks like. I mean, it's just amazing. You don't have to destroy the Hollywood magic. I mean, let's leave it at Hollywood,
Still to this day, Spielberg and Lucas are in a bidding to find out, how did I do that? Okay. How did I actually shoot video from the interior of the microwave while it was on and the pizza slice was spinning around?
Yeah, there you go. No, just amazing. Amazing. So not only do you make pizza videos, but you make pizza. And you know, again, having been part of Pizza School NYC, what an amazing, life-changing experience for me. I have to say, it was just one of my top pizza experiences in my life. And there's real magic that happens when you get people together and they make pizza. I mean, that's pizza therapy's concept as well. I mean, that's just what it's all about. So let me ask you give me your top 5 pizza tips, or, you know, for people that want to make pizza. What would you tell people?
Well, this glow in the dark Frisbee has 3 on there. Actually,
All right.
when we were sending pizza kits across the country,
Yes.
we're actually still doing that for the virtual classes. The difference between shipping a 5-inch and a 6-inch box actually was like one of these things where shipping cost wise, it was more advantageous to ship the 6-inch box.
Yeah.
But then what we had to do is put in an inch of like packing material, like peanuts, foam, whatever.
You came up with the Frisbee.
Came up with this Frisbee, and for the cost of about $1 or so, this went into the package, became the spacer that we needed, and also became this beautiful keepsake, a glow-in-the-dark Frisbee with the 3 commandments of Pizza School on it. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right. What are the 3 commandments then? Let's get right to it.
Great. So we like to say, well, Albert, you are familiar with this term here, soft bongos.
Oh, yes. All right. Yeah. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Please go ask.
No, I mean, soft bongos, to tell you the truth. I had never heard of that before. And having taught a number of special education and regular education students to make pizza, and that's what I did, I always used that term. And it just kind of stuck in their head.
You'll be hearing
what soft bongos are about. So I always say it's always Mark and Jenny Bello taught me this. Soft bongos. Okay. Yeah. What are soft bongos, Mark and Jenny? What is that?
Can I speak? May I? Because what I think is like the soft bongos, and you saw on the Frisbee, it also said less is more. All of this is about handling dough gently and about topping the pizza gently, right? And everything in balance. And once you put all these things together, like the gentle handling and the not too much on top of it, you end up with something that's really special and delicious and shareable. And these are the things.
Absolutely. No, that's really true. The soft bongos are a method of forming the dough. And I just think it's such a phenomenal, it's a simple concept. And it's very relatable. I mean, people can really relate to soft bongos. It is a great way to handle dough. The other thing that you said, which again, when working with teenagers in a high school setting, baking pizza for the first time, they want to throw everything. You know, I like pepperoni. I like cheese. They want to just keep throwing it. And that is what I write on the board. I mean, I have to say, I won't say that I got it from you, but less is more has been one of my favorite staples. And what does that mean when you make pizza?
Yeah.
And you guys, and I will say, at the Pizza School, you really reinforce that in a great way. Yeah. So less is more.
When we demonstrate, so we've made dough, and then the dough is setting aside to rise. You know, in class we teach a quick rise dough, but you know, so people are actually using the dough that they made with us. You know, it's not like we make the dough and then we set it aside and then we give you dough we made, and then you're like, oh, this is great, but I didn't make this dough. And we also talk about, you know, long fermentation, like all that kind of stuff. But anyway, while that dough is rising, we demonstrate a couple of pizzas with dough we've prepared in advance. And that first pizza, when they see like how much sauce I don't put on it, and then how much cheese I don't put on it, and then they see the final product when it comes out of the oven and then they taste it, it's like this major pizza epiphany where it's like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that my pizzas were suffering, and now because I was overloading it with stuff, and now if I cut that in half, my pizzas are not, they're going to get exponentially better, you know?
Yes.
And so it's like, and the equation basically is now you get to eat twice as much pizza guilt-free. You're welcome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll say, it's counterintuitive. It's something you wouldn't think.
Yeah.
What do you mean put half of what I was going to put on there? But I will say it works. I mean, what a great concept. And it takes kids, even though some of their first time pizza makers, or they come back, they make it a second or third time, then they get it. The less is more. I think that's just fantastic.
And you said something too. This is the other half of less is more, which is it's not just about quantity of like stuff, but it's about quantity of toppings. Like at Pizza School, we also have a playlist that's like really people really love, and it's mine, and it's at the moment it's about 1,300 songs, and it's all different genres of music. It's metal, and it's jazz, and it's disco, and it's blues, and it's all these different things, playing one after the other. And it's fun because people are like, wait, you just had Dolly Parton and now you've got Motorhead, but so I use that as a way to sort of say, like, it's like pizza toppings. I love pepperoni, and I love sausage, and I love olives, I love mushrooms, but it's like music. If you play disco and jazz and blues all at the same time, it's noise.
Yeah.
So it's toppings. So to me, like a cheese pizza is perfect, but if you're going to do toppings, I think you got to limit it to one, maybe two, maybe three, but judiciously topped and balance. Jenny said balance. Balance is like a big word. So I'd say this Frisbee, we should put balance on there too.
Okay. Jenny, do you want to add something?
I mean, one thing that's interesting at Pizza School is we've had so many, I mean, I don't even know how many thousands of people have taken our class at this point, but you'll see people do something different every class, we'll see something new, that you just wouldn't expect. But also sometimes people want to put everything on that pizza. And so part of the less is more in balancing too is like helping them know what quantity of stuff to put on the pizza, because sometimes people just want that. But there's a way to do it where it can still fall into that category of balance too.
Right. And what you said is really interesting, because I noticed that you kind of have an epiphany. When I was at Pizza School, people did that. You were just, oh man, wow. They pull something out of it, like pulling a rabbit out of a hat, and come up with an amazing creation you would never think of. You're kind of working with a blank palette, so to speak, and you were able to use it. And also, I want to reinforce what you said, Mark, about all your different genres of music. And I can't tell you I'm into all of them, but pizza is all inclusive. I mean, pizza brings people together. Let's face it. That's the whole, that's kind of the basis of our relationship, to tell you the truth. It just brings people together. Yeah. It brings, it's just a magical little disc that makes things happen. It's just incredible. But it's an all-inclusive, and you can quote me on that. And it's an all-inclusive activity for everyone.
I mean, something that I just want to say, something that we
Sure.
say about that too. I mean, pizza is a circle, right? So you just naturally gather around it. It is, we always say it's the most shareable food. And I think that is what, as a pizza as a medium, that's what makes it so interesting for us.
Right. So will the circle be unbroken? I mean, come on, here it is,
Pizza can also be an amoeba, though,
okay.
because we tell people, like, fixate more on the soul of your crust and not the symmetry. Like, if to get that circle, you have to hit it with a rolling pin.
Yeah.
Pizza School, where you're just choking the breath of the yeast out of the pizza, and you're making this soulless circle that has been eaten in a circular submission by your rolling pin or other medieval torture.
I mean, truth be told, as many pizzas I've made, none have ever been a perfect circle. I try. Some some say, "Hey, man, that's an island of Hawaii." Well, yeah, that's kind of how it works out.
Exactly.
Never trust around pizza. I mean, that's kind of how it is. To steal a phrase. Hey, what's the third thing on that Frisbee? So we talked about less is more. We talked about soft bongos, and what is the third concept there?
Gravity.
Oh, okay.
Gravity.
Tell me.
Sounds
actually
serious.
so you know Neil as well, our brother.
I do.
And also head instructor at Pizza School, and Pizza Expo for the largest dough stretch.
Yes.
Neil likes to say, "Thank you, Gravity, for keeping us grounded. That's his like tribute during class. But basically what we're
Okay.
showing people is like in stretching the dough, like holding that dough and allowing the weight of the dough to do the stretching for you, as opposed to, again, counterintuitive. You were talking about that with toppings. It's the same with dough. People think that you've just got to get like aggressive with the dough. And anyone who's tried to stretch a dough and dealt with snapback and all
Yes, yes.
and it's because if their initial approach is just to pound it and hammer it and push it and pull it, they're like, why isn't it moving the way I want it to? But when they realize that dough, after it's risen, is just primed and ready and loose and relaxed, and then you just kind of let the dough kind of coax the shape.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And Mark, what you say in class too is like, forget the word stretch, because the word stretch is actually not what you're doing with the dough. You're letting the dough become what it's going to be itself.
Okay.
Via soft bongos and gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the holy trinity of pizza. I'm going to put it right down there. That is just fantastic.
We need 5. Okay? So
you got, if you got some more, I mean, that's great.
Balance.
Okay.
And what's the 5th, Jenny?
Have fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have fun, man.
Heck yeah.
No, that's what it's all
fun.
about. Yeah. That is really true. Another thing I want to talk about, because you said nothing is off the table, and this is a pizza secret, and something I got from you. I mean, I grew up in an Italian household. I watched both my grandparents, my grandmothers, my mother's side, my father's side, make pizza sauce or gravy, spaghetti sauce, whatever. Both of them had different methods. Both of them were just extremely delicious. And I watched my dad make pizza, who knew nothing about pizza. He would take a can of stewed tomatoes, chop them up, and just throw it on. And it was fantastic. But you came up with a recipe for pizza sauce that is simple, but fantastic. Would you share that, please?
Sure. And now, by the way, is this a QVC moment? Because
go right ahead.
You too can own a bottle of Piza School NYC 60-second secret sauce. No. Yeah.
No.
Well,
right.
This is actually like a prop that we put these in boxes for the virtual classes we use. And you notice the ingredients, it says all natural spices, right?
Yes.
So our recipe, it used to be like when I was back in the nomadic days, when I was schlepping like my pizza stuff like to parties and whatever, sort of gig I was making pizzas in someone's home kitchen or in a restaurant or a catering hall or whatever. I prepare my sauce. It would be like taking these like, fancy whole peeled tomatoes and crushing them and then cooking them down with herbs and spices and all this kind of stuff. And then, I don't know, the epiphany of what I guess pizzerias will call a raw sauce or a no-cook sauce,
Okay. Yes.
And this is the thing too, is like a lot of places, I don't understand why they purchase like a pre-seasoned, pre-made sauce when you can actually make your own sauce that I think is better, more economical. And also then when people say, you say, oh yeah, I make my sauce is homemade, right? And then they want the recipe. And then you negotiate, right? You don't just be like, oh yeah, it's just 60 seconds of, But anyway, the deal is that what reminds me of growing up, like going into the city in the 80s, growing up in New Jersey, eating the pizzas there. What reminds me of like the mom and pop, like sliced joint sauce. And to me, the flavors are ripe tomatoes, garlic and oregano. Yep. And when I say garlic and oregano, I also don't mean like fresh oregano from, the organic herb garden and, fresh garlic and all that. It's literally, I'm using powder.
Yep.
And dried oregano, good quality. So actually what's in here is 3-to-1 dried oregano to garlic powder.
Okay.
And the recipe, very simple. Anyone who wants it, email us. Just email it. Yeah, seriously. Info at Pizza School, because I'll give you the breakdown and stuff. Also, Real Simple, the magazine. Are you familiar? It's like, you see it in the grocery store checkout. I think they have about 8 million in print.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
they asked us for our recipe, so it's in the December issue of Real Simple from last year.
Okay.
First they're like, oh, would you share your sauce recipe? And I was like, I don't even know if it's so much a recipe. I mean, it's really simple. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's the name of your magazine. Okay, here you go.
Okay.
So
All
we
right.
give it to you. So there you go.
All right. Okay.
Albert, I feel,
All right.
Jenny, you got to keep me on track here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, you're having fun.
This was last night's run of show. It was like, all right, Mark, stay on target.
Okay.
Yeah, you did good. You did good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
But
we're
yeah,
hitting all the targets.
So
No
yeah,
problem.
so
Yeah.
the sauce recipe, just like our approach to pizza making and stretching and topping and all that, it is simplicity, but
It's so simple.
Simple
Yeah.
isn't easy. It was years of trial and error and R&D and all that kind of stuff to really to get to that,
Okay. Yeah.
kind of
Don't you?
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Albert, don't you find in life that a lot of times we have to make things really complicated before we figure out how simple it
Absolutely.
can actually
No,
be?
no. And we
I think
overthink
pizza's like
things.
that.
Yeah, no, that's very true. You
like-
overthink things and it makes things complicated, which would be a very
Yeah.
simple answer. And yeah, your sauce recipe is just stellar.
And by the
So,
way, your hat,
there you
this
go.
makes great sauce. Yeah. So the difference between using this and let's say this
Yes.
contains no salt. This contains salt. So
Oh, no, okay.
the
Interesting.
modification in
No.
our recipe is that I give you the proportions right now. 1 28-ounce can of tomatoes. If it
Yes.
does not contain salt, 1 teaspoon of salt,
Okay.
1 tablespoon of dried oregano, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. If the tomatoes already contain salt, keep in mind that your pizza is the sum of its parts. Your toppings, your cheese, your meats, your vegetables, whatever else that often are salty. So at the end of the day, you want your pizza to be savory, but not something that's going to wake you up in the middle of the night to chug gallons of water. So like the Bianco di Napoli are already salted,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And they're great, like right out of the can. I mean, you can eat these actually doing like a margarita-esque pizza, let's say.
Yep.
These you can go
Perfect.
straight on
Perfect.
the pizza as is. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Is
And
that
those
okay?
are with the blue can is crushed tomatoes, correct?
That's the crushed. Yeah.
Yeah, which is great. You just use it right out of there. I love it. I love their stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of great tomato sauces and a lot of great cheeses, a lot of great ingredients. And again, at 6 of one, half dozen of another. I mean, I think they all work. Whatever works for you. I mean, I think both those Gento and Bianco di Napoli, great products. Let's kind of end up here because I want to do this again. But for this episode, we'll kind of end it up. But I want you to tell me how people can find you, how they can get to Pizza School NYC, and how you enroll in the school. So Jenny, take it away.
Okay. It's very simple. You go to pizzaschool.com. Then you select pizza making classes, and then you choose virtual or in person. And
Okay.
you sign up. It's 1 session. The in-person is 4 hours. The virtual is 2.5 hours. You pick the date that works for you that's available and sign up.
Don't
Okay.
forget about corporate events, though, honey.
And we
Ah,
also do
Aha.
team building.
Okay.
I mean, we do, if someone's just looking to come take a one-off class with us, they just sign up. But yes, during the week, we do corporate team building events every night of the week. There's one tonight,
Yeah. I'm not going
companies
to,
from all over.
I will not drop any names, but I will say some of the largest corporations in America have signed up for team building. And if I let the list be known, people would be shocked. I mean, I don't want to divulge anything. I don't want to get in any trouble, but it's pretty amazing. The people that have come through your class for corporate events. I mean, it's amazing. And I didn't go through a corporate event. I went through a personal event, which is fantastic. I mean, again, I can't recommend it enough.
yeah.
I understand you have some products out there. Let's talk about that. How can people buy some Pizza School NYC products?
You mean like swag and stuff like that?
Yeah, like swag. Yeah.
Currently, at the moment, like one of the things we sell baking steels, we sell Epicurean pizza peels, we sell
Yeah.
them in house. We don't ship them. It's just doesn't doesn't make sense like that.
Yep. Yep.
But really the main product that we sell online is you can come and join us for a virtual class from anywhere in the world.
Okay.
I mean, we have some t-shirts, we have some things like that. We're not doing that as like a order online kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But
more as a service then, more as a pizza school
Mm-hmm.
service rather than a commercial endeavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the things too with the virtual that just was a complete game changer for us and really became a second business is that you are in Hawaii right now. It's 6 hours earlier there. Okay?
That's right. Yes.
Like we will be up at 10 in the morning here to do a class for dinner for a client in Europe or the Middle East because
Right.
like the world. Yeah. So that was a really interesting thing too, because like in the city, we do our classes physically in our space, really 7 days a week whenever we're available.
Yeah.
Nighttime, sometimes daytime, even some morning events, but virtually like there are no rules in terms of that. And that was cool. And I remember us just saying to Jenny when we started forming the virtual, when, the pandemic, when everyone was quarantined and it was shut down, I was like, I can't wait for our first class when we're like up at like before sunrise taking a class,
Yeah.
And so that was cool. But I don't know. But I know, Albert, you sell swag online. You sell t-shirts and stuff.
I do. I'll put some links. Yeah, it's okay. I mean,
is that Lamborghini really in your driveway that you showed us?
Go.
Is that from that?
There you go. This isn't about me. It's about you guys. It's not, I
but
can
we always
myself
like
any
to hear.
day. Thank you so much. Yeah, I do have t-shirts. I'll put some I have a book. I'll put links below this video. And I'll put links below the video about Pizza School NYC. And it's pizzaschool.com, in case anyone's pizzaschool.com. Pretty amazing. And you both are, great pizza ambassadors, pizza lovers, pizza professors. I mean, you guys are the best. I just love everything about you. I love your mission. I love everything you do. And I thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me.
Yeah,
but I want to promise before we go, this is not the end. We're going to do this again. And maybe a couple more times. Okay? You got a promise?
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, Albert. We love you too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aloha.
Aloha.
See you later. Aloha.
Mahalo.
Take care.
All that.